What's up everyone, Kawaii here, and welcome to my playthrough of Grisaia Chronos Rebellion. This is part 10 of my Grisaia Chronos Rebellion playthrough series. If you haven't seen the other 9 parts, you click the playlist link in the description down below. Yeah, we're gonna pick up where we left off back in part 9, so without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, here we go. So yeah, last playthrough, like I said, very kawaii focused. We even got our backstory and various CGs. Including her. So now we are back in the gun range. Good afternoon. I got a little stuck with work, so I thought I'd do some shooting to help clear my mind. That reminds me, you keep all the firearms we collected on the job here, right? I pretend to take my time choosing a gun while carefully looking around. But I don't find any traces of what I'm really looking for. Even though we must have collected a considerable amount during our past raids. Where did all the bombs go? I'm sorry. It would be unnatural to ask Kogo-san about bombs right now. I'll go with this one. We haven't investigated the entire building yet, but it's hard to imagine they're keeping bombs in the smaller rooms that we haven't searched yet. If they're keeping disassembled bomb parts in separate locations, it might fit, but then they'd have to go through the trouble of reassembling the bombs whenever they want to use them. And that's gonna take a while, so very impractical. L, I want to ask you something. Is now okay? After making sure that there is nobody around who could hear me, I call out to L via my intercom. Is that static? No, wait. That sounds like a shower. It's been a while since we went undercover with Nostra, but have you ever seen any bombs at the HQ? Right. I guess I should assume that they store them somewhere else. The question is where? The only places we haven't investigated yet are a few of the other employee rooms and the third floor. Can't imagine that anyone who doesn't know how to handle bombs would have the bombs stored in their room. Saria's room is out of the question too. Koya and the other girls frequently go in there with her. Also, why the hell would they store bombs in a child's room? It wouldn't make any sense for anybody. Who would that be? Checking with Koya is certainly a good idea. She might know where the bombs are kept. Yeah, boy! Well, yeah, unfortunately there's a considerable amount of censorship, but, well, it is what it is. Well, at least YouTube should be happy, right? I shouldn't be able to get a community guideline strike from this, right? Kusa! I wonder if there's an uncensored patch for this game. Oh, come on, what, you think Arta's gonna have some, like, sick fantasies inside his head just from the sound of a shower? You think he's gonna start popping a chubby?
いいえ、絶対に取り上げるわ。今宵は相手の動きを読むのがうまいから、下手にかわしたところで対応されてしまう。
Are you really gonna have a whole fight in the shower? That seems very dangerous, actually. Oh, damn!
ちょっと、なんでいきなり抱きつくの？マスターへの報告が終わるまで、今宵にインカムを取らせるわけにはいきません。報告なんてしなくても、私たちのやりとりは先に聞こえてるわよ。あ、言われてみれば。
Oh, yeah.
確かに。
Yeah, he must be hearing the whole scuffle, isn't he?
ですが、他にも確認することがあるかもしれません。それまでは、今宵の動きを封じさせてもらいます。
Okay, now he's definitely gonna wonder what the fuck's going on.
ちょっと、あまり顔を押し付けないで。
Oh my god.
ただでさえ、息がかかってくすぐったいのに。
Bruh.
今宵は胸が弱いんですか？
Is Arta gonna manage to be professional about this? Is he gonna keep his composure?
先が聞いてるんだから、おかしなこと言わないで。
I guess most girls would get upset over an incident like this.
どういうことか説明してもらおうかしら。
I've been forced to kneel on the floor while Koya interrogates me. I must admit I was a bit distracted, but it's completely my fault. I have no excuse. I took off my earphone when I realized it was making you uncomfortable, but I'm sorry you had to go through that. Feel free to kick me or punch me or whatever you please. I'll do anything to make this up to you.
自分の非を認めて反省するのも言い訳しないのもまさきらしいわね。けど、やっぱり納得できるだけの理由がないと、このわだかまりは飲み込めないわ。
Alright, let me explain it from the top. I tell her about the architectural drawings we found in Arimi-san's PC, which might depict potential targets of bombing attacks. And about the fact that I didn't find any bombs in the underground armory. I also explain my suspicion that terrorist attacks are being plotted right under our noses without us realizing it.
なるほど。それで他のことに対しては気もそぞろになっていたわけね。
Yeah.
それなら今回の事故はしょうがないわね。
Really? You're not angry anymore?
私がいいって言ってるんだから、あまり掘り返さないで。というか、とても重大な懸念事項が出てきたんだから、今はそれどころじゃないでしょ。
Thanks, Koyoi.
なんでいきなりお礼なんて言うのよ。
Oh, I'm just really glad that you're able to calm down so quickly and look at things rationally.
もう、私をおだててる暇があったら、今後のプランをしっかり練ってよね。
I wasn't just trying to flatter you, I really mean it.
そこは素直に分かったでいいのよ。
Okay, okay, thanks, Koyoi.
いや、あなた、本当に分かってるの？もう、まさきと一緒にいると、腰が狂う。
Well, that was...
2階の部屋を一通り調べましたが、爆弾はありませんでした。
So there weren't any after all. Well, where else is left?
マスター、どうしますか？
It seems like L has the same concerns as I do. How did Arima-san find intel on an organization that Thanao-san didn't take any note of? The probability is low, but there's a slight chance of something that lies outside of Thanao-san's predictions. If we're going to investigate further, I'll need to prepare well. The most important thing is, our highest priority right now is finding out where they store their bombs.
マスターが先日言っていたテロ計画が動いている可能性があるからですか？
Right. If they're working with customized bombs, gathering data about them beforehand will make it easier to prevent any future attacks.
わかりました。では、このまま撤収します。
Okay. The third floor is the only place left where bombs could possibly be stored, but I would prefer to have more information before we do anything. This will require some thorough preparation. Maybe those architectural plans aren't for like bombings and stuff. I mean, that is a possibility. However, that doesn't explain why there is supposedly an expert when it comes to bombs, but we never seen him use any bombs. I go through the various gadgets and other items that Yamato-san gave us along with the comms headsets. Among them are several tracking transmitters. It can be embedded into a variety of items, including necktie pins and gun magazines. With a little work, it should be easy enough to disguise them. The next day. Good morning. I was thinking we haven't gone on any missions recently, so I was up all night searching for any suitable targets. When I'm not doing any work, it makes me feel guilty for not earning my keep. No, I didn't mean it that way, but as a new employee, I feel like I need to prove myself. And since you've been teaching me more about guns recently, I'm itching to try out my new skills on the job. I've only found 3 organizations so far, but here they are. I hand my documents to the boss. Thank you, sir. Now all that's left is... You're right. I think I'll take a nap first. I'll be careful. Using this convenient lie to excuse myself, I head up to the 2nd floor. Doesn't look like anyone else is here. Great. Before I go to my room, I visit Koyoi's, L's, Serika's, and Flan's rooms. Leave one of the disguised transmitters in an inconspicuous place in each room. I'll tell them to bring it with them when we go on our next raid and plant them on any bombs we find. My preparations are complete. Okay. A few days later, we are sent out on a new job. We successfully managed to plant the transmitters in the bombs that we brought back among all the other goods. I'm a bit worried if the transmitters will work according to plan, but it seems that both the short and long distance transmitters are working properly. I used both kinds to cover all possible scenarios. Now I just have to set up a monitoring system for the short distance ones, and someone's upstairs, huh? I recall the floor plan of the HQ that I checked before infiltrating here. The sound is coming from the room that we're forbidden from entering. If Nostra goes to the trouble of hiding the bombs there, they must consider them a large risk. One thing is certain, I don't nearly have enough information yet. I wonder what the higher-ups will think of all this. The rest depends on their judgment. So the mystery continues, huh? So, we found out that the bombs are being stored on the 3rd floor. When I observed Chihara-san's work, none of the transactions involved any mentions of explosives. It's natural to assume that he doesn't trade an explosive if he didn't mention them at least once. That's why I suggested to top brass myself. Sengoku-san, the principal of Mihama Academy, agreed with me. But there's a catch. We're a special task force that's operating without approval from the higher-ups. Simply put, with the little information we have available now, we won't be able to get their permission to do anything more. According to the principal, when top brass was were presented with the currently available information, they got stubborn and said they may not have sold any explosive recently, but there is no evidence that they haven't been doing so in the past. Don't act on unreliable information. And that was the end of those negotiations.
動きがあるまでこのまま何もしないの？
I just said that Chiara-san didn't make any mention of explosives, but I still think something's fishy going on. That said, it would be difficult to prove that a terrorist attack is being plotted without any concrete
で
evidence.
はどうするんですか？
We present the data about the bombs we rigged with transmitters to top brass. Maybe that will make them aware that Nostra is a legitimate threat.
けど爆弾を所持している証拠を見せると言っても一筋縄でいかないわよ。
Either way, we have to do something before it's too late. Let's organize the information we currently have. What do we know about the third floor?
ボスとお嬢様の部屋、そして立ち入りが禁止されている部屋があるけど。
Wait, where's Serica and Flan? Shouldn't they also be here for the discussions since they're part of the team?
鍵は共通のカードキーとそれぞれ部屋ごとに違う鍵がもう一つ二重ロックになっているわ。私はお嬢様の相手を任されているからカードキーとディンプルキーを持っているわ。ボスの部屋は番号を入力して解除されるタイプで、立ち入りが禁止されている部屋は動脈認証ね。
The Nao-san could probably figure out the security key of the digital lock for us, but it's double locked. It could take a while to unlock.
じゃあさ、外から侵入したらどうかな。
Oh, okay, so she is here. Okay.
外ですか？
ほら、映画とかドラマでさ、窓から出て縁を伝って移動するシーンとかあるでしょ。窓の鍵が閉まってたらアウト。割って入って出るときに直せばワンチャン。
How the hell are you gonna pull that off? Not a chance.
そっか。サリアの部屋の壁に穴を開けて隣の部屋に潜入する。
No. Because I have a feeling that's going to create a lot of noise and people are going to be very suspicious of a random hole in the wall of the little girl's room. That would be difficult to do without making any noise.
視点を変えて私たちは潜入しないというのはどうでしょう？
What do you mean?
ボスが身につけているものにカメラを仕込み、室内の映像を入手するんです。私たちがプレゼントするのは不自然だから、何か身につけているものをすり替えるということよね。
I suppose it would depend on the item, but we'd have to do a really good job at recreating it if we want to switch it unnoticed. Otherwise, you're going to need Annette from Spy Classroom. We would need some very detailed data on the real item for reference.
身につけているものはオーダーメイドしたものばかりだから難しいかもしれないわね。
Do you have any ideas, Koyoi?
天井裏から入れないかしら。
You think we could get into the room through the ceiling inspection door?
ええ。つながっている確証はないけれど、可能性はありそうでしょ。
Maybe. We need to clean the dust off ourselves before coming back, so we'd have less time for the actual infiltration, but I think it's worth a try. Now the next question is, who will do it? The shortest person would be Flan, while the lightest person would be L. Really? No. No. I have no. That doesn't really make sense. No. Is Flan really heavier than L? That doesn't really make any sense to me.
ねえ、ちょっと聞きたいんだけど。
What is it?
今の言い方だと、私たちの身長と体重を正確に把握しているみたいだけど。
I don't have them memorized, but I could check them at any time.
なんで？
There's a database of all sort personnel, you know.
ちょっとプライバシー。
Girl, you're worried about the most irrelevant shit. Only handlers have the right to view your personal files. Situations like these are exactly why they exist. I only looked at your height and weight. I didn't look at your measurements, so don't worry.
今すぐマサキの端末を壊したい。
師匠、私の情報は好きなだけ見ていいですよ。なんなら今ここで測って報告して。
セリカ。
およいちゃんって硬いなあ。減るもんじゃないし。
よくないわよ。
Oh, but it is fine. You know, maybe it's you know, it could be important information pertaining to pertaining to missions or future missions. You know, I mean, you never know when that kind of information come in handy.
安心してください、およい。以前、胸で大事なのは大きさでも形でもなく味だと聞いたことがあります。
What do you mean by flavor? What the fuck? You see the saying I've heard was, it's not the size of the chest that counts, it's the size of her heart.
言ってる意味がわからないんだけど。というか、あなたたちの低層観念はどうなってるのよ。
Virtue? What is that? Is there a pill for that? Hey, we're straying off topic.
誰のせいだと。
Yours?
セリカ。確かに、マサキのせいじゃなかった。
Can we get back on topic? Taking into account the overall numbers, I think L should be the one to try.
了解です。
I feel like Flan should have been the one, but I...
おはようございます。
エルちゃん、おはよ
エル、髪の毛寝癖がついてるわよ。何ですか？え、どこですか？直してあげる。
今宵に頭なでなでされるのは気持ちいいよね。
今宵はテクニシャンですね。テクニシャン。はい、終わり。本当ですか？まだ寝癖がついてる気がするんですが。
エルルン、今宵ちゃんに頭を撫でられるの気に入ったんだ。素直に言えばいいのに。
違います。本当に寝癖が残ってる気がしたんです。
Uh-huh.
じゃあ、サリアが寝癖つけてあげる。
Press X to doubt.
髪の毛ぐちゃぐちゃにしないでください。
う。おーい、朝飯できたぞ。
今日のメニューは何だろう。
それじゃあ席に着きましょうか。ボサボサにされた髪の毛は？
I mean, you're gonna be crawling through a vent soon, so it doesn't really matter.
いただきま
私の髪は？
エルルン、早く席に着く。
はい。マスター、潜入完了しました。
Good. Koi gave Elle the key to Saria's room while pretending to fix her hair, so that Elle could go and investigate while the boss is away. Ah. So far, everything is going well. Next. There should be a ceiling inspection hatch somewhere.
クローゼット内にありました。トラップのようなものは見当たりません。
Stay on guard. Be careful when you go in.
了解です。中はホコリが溜まっていて、しばらく使っていない感じがします。
Do you think the ceiling can hold your weight?
はい。かなりしっかりしているので問題ないと思います。ただ、想像していた天井裏とは作りが違います。
Different? In what way?
人が一人通れるくらいの幅に仕切られています。わかりやすく言うと、狭い迷路でしょうか。
Is it some kind of trap? But if it was, you would expect there to be an obvious opening in order to lure the enemy inside.
どうしますか、マスター。
Be careful of traps when you go inside. See if you can find ceiling hatches leading into the other rooms. The hairpin I gave you this morning has a transmitter inside, which is tracking your position. I'll use your location data to help you navigate and keep track of the time.
わかりました。では、私はトラップがあるかどうかだけに注意を払います。
Right. Thanks.
では、潜入を開始します。
Holding a flashlight in my right hand, I examine every wall, before cautiously crawling forward. Alright. Elle going die hard mode. Elle channeling her inner John McClane. In fact, this is like the second Grisaia girl we've seen that crawled through a vent. I don't see anything that could be a trap, and I make it to the first corner in the passageway.
マスター、分かれ道です。
Going by your position, the forbidden room would be to your right, but can you see what's at the end of each route?
右のルートはすぐ曲がる作りになっています。
So it could be a U-turn.
左のルートはまっすぐ続く作りになっています。
Would you try entering the route that seems to lead toward the forbidden room first?
了解です。
What's wrong?
クモの巣が顔にかかっただけです。
Oh.
このまま進みます。
There don't seem to be any traps beyond the fork, nor are there any more branching pathways. I can only move at a snail's pace, and I start getting anxious whether this route is really the correct
大
one.
丈夫。マスターが潜入初日にすぐに結果を得られるものじゃないって言ってた。焦る必要はない。
I take a deep breath and crawl onward.
マスター、この先右に曲がる作りになっています。
If I go right now, it would lead me further away from the forbidden room that we want to investigate. Well, I didn't think this would be easy. Can you go around the corner and see what's there?
了解しました。
It's been 2 hours since Elle passed through the ceiling inspection hatch. Jesus! Well, since we have this light-hearted OST playing, I'm assuming she's gonna be okay. Elle, are you okay?
はい。蒸し暑くて思ったより体力を消耗していますが、問題はありません。
She's been able to go forward the whole time without needing to backtrack. If this is really the correct route, it would be difficult for the boss, who isn't quite as fit as Elle, to pass through. I can't imagine that he would use this passage as a secret escape route. Does that mean that we picked the wrong one?
マスタ
Elle, can you come back? I think this is enough for today's investigation.
ー、私の体力ならまだ大丈夫ですが。
No, I think that's the wrong route. And you'll need to get the dust and dirt off yourself after getting out of there, so we should give ourselves plenty of time.
わかりました。
Maze above the ceiling is poorly ventilated. The hot and stuffy air quickly wears you down. This is even trickier than I feared. I'll try probing around a bit more.
今日もがっつり体を動かしたな。
Well, I guess no more die-harding for Elle for now. Good job.
お、朝日。どうよ。どっか潰す会社は見つけたか？
It hasn't been that long since our previous job, has it?
いや、この前の仕事は俺的に消化不良だったからさ。だから張り切ってたのか。ああ、付き合わされるこっちの身にもなれよ。
Come to think of it, our company's strategies are pretty aggressive, aren't they?
ああ、そうだな。
I've never given it much thought until now, but what if we get attacked? Do we have any defenses set up?
そんなもん、真っ向からやり合うに決まってるだろう。あじゃ随分と頭が悪そうな答えだな。
They definitely sound like the offense is the best defense kind of people.
いやでもよ、他に何もすることないだろ。ああ、確かにそうだ。
So we don't have any measures or protocols in place in the case of an attack?
少なくとも俺たちは聞いたことがないな。
Let's see. Are they confident that they can escape without any support if Nostra's HQ gets raided? In that case, could it be that the forbidden room actually connects to the outside rather than to Saria's room? Or maybe the maze in the roof cavity is just a trap to buy them time while they escape via another route. But there's no guarantee that the enemy will try to pass through the ceiling hatches.
神妙な顔してどうした？
Oh, I was just questioning if we shouldn't put some kind of security measures into place.
ああ、まさきの言わんとしてることはわかるぞ。でも、うちは懇意にしている会社がいくつかあるし、でかい組織かアホじゃない限り攻めてこないぞ。下手に手を出せば報復されるだろうしな。
Right. So there is a possibility that the HQ doesn't have any secret escape routes. But if that's true, something is definitely strange about that maze in the roof cavity and those double locked doors on the 3rd floor. Maybe I need to consider the possibility that there is an escape route somewhere other than the ceiling hatches. Alright, this should do. Having finished creating an overview of the data on rival organizations that I received from Thanao-san, I do some light stretches.
お待たせ。
Koi has just taken Saria to school, as usual.
すぐ準備するわね。
Koyoi, who started heading upstairs, stops in her tracks.
何？
I put a wet towel in the fridge a while ago. You should take it with you.
何かに使うの？
When Elle entered the roof cavity yesterday, the heat took a toll on her, so I thought having a cool towel would help.
ありがとう。
Now, what route should we investigate today? I don't know if... Actually, no, never mind. I was about to say, I don't know if Korra should be exposed to any more cold after what happened in Chiharu's room. But that's a different scenario. I bring up the mapping data from L's transmitter. Space is a lot more complex than I expected. Why did they build it like this?
まさき、お嬢様の部屋に着いたわ。
The ceiling hatch is inside of the closet.
ああ、ここね。確認したわ。
Okay, so I guess it's Koyoi's turn?
今から天井裏に入るわ。
思っていたよりも誇りっぽくないのね。
Maybe because Elle probably dusted off everything when she crawled in there. It must be a little cleaner than yesterday because of all the dust Elle brought back with her. But you'll be investigating a different passageway today. Go forward until you see a fork, and then go left.
了解。
Man, that looks like an expensive suit Koyoi's wearing. She Let's hope she doesn't get too dirty.
L が通ってないルートはかなり誇りっぽいわね。
Oh shit. Let me know if it's too much. Then you can turn back.
ありがとう。でもこのくらいなら平気よ。
That's what Elle said when she was in there for 2 hours. I make my way into the dusty passage when suddenly a chill runs down my spine. Your signal stopped moving. Did something happen?
さっき何か物音が。
There shouldn't be anybody on the 3rd floor right now.
いえ、音は下からじゃなくて天井裏から聞こえてたのよ。かすかな音だったけど、聞き間違いじゃないと思う。
It's possible that a trap has been activated. Check the passageway carefully. See if anything has changed.
わかったわ。
I don't hear any mechanical sounds nearby. I illuminate the passageway with my flashlight to check if anything's there. Then, I move the light forward and attempt to see what's ahead. I suddenly hear a dull noise through my headset. Koyoi? I'm gonna predict this right now. It's probably like a mouse or something. Maybe like a mouse or a spider or a bug. Koyoi lets off a soft squeak. Koyoi? What's wrong? You report in? Sounds like she's saying something, but I can't make out what it is. Did she get caught in some kind of trap? Remembering when Koyoi got trapped in Chiara-san's room, I break into a cold sweat. Is she fighting against something? Or someone? What's going on? Nobody has returned from their morning train sessions yet. Is there someone else in the building that we're not aware of? If so, I won't have enough time to go and save.
まさき、聞こえる？
Just as I'm going through all possible scenarios in my mind, Koyoi's voice comes in crystal clear. Koyoi, are you okay?
聞こえた音の正体はネズミだったわ。ごめんなさい。ネズミはすごい苦手で。
Ironic, coming from the girl who's like a sword agent in disguise of a mafioso. She must have dropped her headset in surprise. I breathe a deep sigh of relief. I'm so glad it's not anything dire. Man, yeah, Arata was clearly about to go into some sort of panic attack. I feel like he's been like... Yeah, it seems like he's been like a little bit more paranoid about Koi ever since that incident in Shihara's room. But to be fair, rats are not creatures to be messed with. I mean, they carry disease and shit. Is the rat gone now?
いえ、頭をぶつけた私に驚いて逃げていったわ。
I see. It must be tough to run into distractions like that when you have to pay close attention to any potential traps. However, we still haven't investigated much of this passageway. Koyoi, I'm sorry if this seems mean, but
わかってる。このまま進むのよね。
can you manage it?
進むのが遅くてもいいのなら。
Sure. Go at your own
あ
pace.
りがとう、まさき。もう一つお願いしてもいい？
What is it?
笑わない？
I can't guarantee I won't laugh when I don't know what you're going to say, but I promise that I'll do my best not to.
ネズミが怖いから何か話しながら進んでもいい？
Man, Koyoi's feminine side is like colossal. Like, despite her being like a sword agent and like specializing in gunning people in the arms and legs, and despite being a mafioso in disguise, she's still a girl through and through. Like, she has to be like, yes, you know, the Grisaia series is full of girls, but like out of all the girls that we've seen so far, Koyoi has to be one of the most feminine.
本当にいいの？
Oh, I forgot to narrate Arta. Of course. You're the one who asked me. I inwardly chuckle at Koyoi's response. Part of a handler's job to take away his subordinates' insecurities. There's no need to act like a stranger.
ありがとう。まさきは優しいわね。
You think so? Most people tell me that I'm too soft.
その人たちはまさきの優しさを知らないだけ。
Girl, are we okay? Girl, something tells me that you're showing you're getting a little too flirtatious. Not too flirtatious, but like, you know, it's a bit awkward to be told that I'm kind by someone who's not one of my students. At the same time, I feel a desire to live up to Koya's expectations since she seems to trust me. While I'm talking with Masaki, I'm able to move forward without feeling anxious.
仲間のいる心強さなのかしら。
Does she not have other friends in Kujigamine besides her handler, which probably barely counts as a friend? As that thought crosses my mind, I notice something.
まさき、この先左右に分かれているわ。
Do you see what each route looks like from there?
少し待ってて。
I shine my flashlight into both passageways in turn, carefully observing what lies ahead.
トラップらしきものはなし。左右どちらのルートも少し進んだら上がる作りになっているわね。
Try entering the right side for now.
分かったわ。
The cold towel Masaki prepared for me is working wonders. I use it to wipe my sweat occasionally as I slowly make my way forward.
まさき、針の一部がささくれ立ってるわ。
If you're reporting this to me, do you mean you can't pass?
少し待って。
I press my body even lower to the floor, gauging the distance between it and the split beam.
第5ホップの状態になれば問題なく避けられそう。
So an adult male who is bigger than you wouldn't be able to pass through.
戻らせるためのトラップでもなさそうだし、外れのルートみたい。
Alright, then go back to the last fork and try entering the left route.
わかったわ。
Passageway is too narrow to turn around, so I'll have to crawl back while facing backwards. Hmm? Is something wrong?
いえ、なんでもないわ。
I try to answer in a reassuring tone I try to answer in a reassuring tone while I hurriedly pull down my skirt. But when I continue moving backward, my skirt slowly rides up again. Holding down my skirt with one hand, I lift my hips off the floor and try crawling backwards again. I must look ridiculous right now, but it's better than having my panties on full display. Girl, you're in a fucking vent right now. You're in a hatch. Nobody is gonna see. I managed to make it back to the fork safely, albeit gracelessly.
左のルートに入るわ。
Roger. New route seems to be easier to follow. Kawaii is moving a lot faster than before. Does this one actually lead somewhere? Just I'm starting to get my hopes up. The signal stops moving.
まさき、
What's wrong?
この辺り天井板が傷んでるみたい。乗るとき霜音がするわ。
Can you wait a moment? L, can you hear me? Reply to me if you can. I call to L on my comms.
はい。
Great. Can you head up to the third floor? Go to point R5.
了解です。すぐに行きます。
Koyoi, can you see what's up ahead?
少し進んだ先に壁が見えるわ。おそらくこれまでと同じ左右にルートが分かれてると思う。
It really is like a maze up there.
マスター、ポイント R5 に到着しました。
Okay. Koyoi, try moving forward as quietly as you can.
了解。
L, do you hear any sounds coming from the ceiling?
耳を澄ませばかすかに聞こえます。
I see. That makes it unlikely that this route is in use.
聞こえるのはかすかにですし、気づかない可能性もあるんじゃないでしょうか。
Okay. Any intruder would be paying close attention to the suspicious sounds. I think it's most likely that they would notice. Besides, the man who would be using the escape route is considerably heavier than Koyoi. Keeping that in mind, it should creak a lot harder if the boss passed through. L, can you head back now?
わかりました。
Oh. L, you can head back now. Koroi, you've done enough for today. You should come back too.
了解。
I studied the mapping data for a while, but I can't figure out what the correct route might be. Am I getting so impatient that I'm overlooking something important? Maybe the hatch has nothing to do with anything? Then again, if that's the case, then they'd just be wasting time. We've got some big mystery going on here. Our progress isn't looking too good. Maze is more complicated than I expected, and we still haven't found anything useful.
あれだけ複雑な作りになっていると調べきるのに時間がかかりそうね。
It's still kind of crazy to me that like an inspection hatch is so like the inspection hatch is so complex. Like L was literally stuck in one of the routes for 2 hours, and apparently there's like multiple branching routes. Kind of like a visual novel. But yeah, anyways, I mean, I guess that kind of just tells you like the scope of how big this building really is.
どうかしたのセリカ？いや、なんとなく気になったんだけど、なんでそんな入り組んだ作りにしてるのかなって。 侵入者対策。僕も最初はそう思ったんだけど、なんかピンとこないんだよね。
I don't think so, because as they've already mentioned, it's a lot of spaces and like a lot of parts in that route where a grown man wouldn't be able to fit through.
じゃあ天井裏は侵入者を足止めするためのフェイクという。
もしそうだとしたら、中にいる人はどこから出てるんだろう。正面はないわよね。普通誰か一人を待機させるだろうし。
Right. But there's still a chance of there being a different escape route. One we just haven't found yet. Having explored that maze yourselves, is there anything you two noticed, Elle and Koyoi?
いえ、特には。
入り組んで迷路みたいと思ったぐらいね。
I see. Delicacy isn't really Nostra's style. The image I have of them is that they're bold and free-spirited. With that in mind, it's hard to imagine they would use such a complicated maze. Let's change plans. We'll stop trying to enter the forbidden room via the ceiling and focus on finding another route for now.
これまで通り、ローテーションで部屋の中を探すんですか？
But what other way is there? Yes, and I also want you to investigate at night.
待って、夜って部屋にはお嬢様がいるし、すぐ近くにはボスの部屋もあるのよ。
I have some ideas to get around that. One is to take Saria to someone else's room to play and investigate her room in the meantime. We will need to make sure to work quietly, but if someone notices, we'll have a convenient excuse. Saria fell asleep in my room, so I came to get her pajamas. That shouldn't arouse any suspicions. Alternatively, someone could play with Saria in her room until she gets tired, and then put her to sleep there. In that case, we wouldn't have to be too careful about noise because the other employees would just think that we're playing. I realize that it's risky. To be honest, I'm not sure if we really need to rush our investigation this much. But if they're really involved in plotting a terrorist attack, acting too late could end in a tragedy. I realize I'll be exposing you girls to danger, but I won't force you to do things you're uncomfortable with.
僕はやるよ。師匠の力になりたい。
I mean, they're knee-deep into enemy territory, a mafia's base. So, they're already exposed to danger. In fact, being exposed to danger is like part of their job. But I get what Arata means still.
私もセリカと同意見。怖いけど、頑張る。
マスターはきちんと対策も考えていますし、断る理由はありません。
Good girl, Elle. How about Koyoi? She's probably the most level-headed person among the team.
私も3人と同じよ。それに、マサキのことは信頼しているから、何の問題もないわ。
Man. I said this before and I'll say it again. Koyoi fans are eating good. Koyoi and Arata shippers are eating good. Thanks, everyone. We continue our investigations whenever the opportunity arises, both during the day and at night. We still fail to turn up any significant results. However, since we've had to be so cautious, there are still a few places that we haven't searched yet. It's still too soon to give up hope. As I'm working in my usual spot, the boss comes in along with the business partner I met before. Just like that time, his neatly tailored suit gives me an air of dignity, clearly different from the other guests the boss had. Only the rings he wears on both his hands don't quite seem to fit his otherwise well-balanced look. It was a pleasure meeting you before.
ああ、そうか。この前は名乗らずに帰ってしまったね。Inae Ruiだ。
Inae Rui. I'll remember it, sir.
君はいつもリビングで仕事をしているのかい？
I do. I have trouble focusing when I'm cooped up alone in my room.
若い子はこういう自由な方が働きやすいのか？
Perhaps so. I think it also depends on the person.
今度うちでも試してみよう。
What kind of company?
話が弾んでいるところ悪いが、そろそろいいかな。
Oh, my apologies.
話はまたの機会にしよう。
Thank you, sir. Once I'm alone, I send a message to the principal. I've obtained the name of one of the people Nostra does business with. Can I ask you to have Thanatos-san find out who he really is?
わかった。なるべく急ごう。
By the time the boss comes down to the first floor again, the sun has already set.
遅くまで悪かったね。いえいえ、今回の話は細部まできっちり詰めておかないと。
Details about what? Exactly. Normally the boss's meetings only last about an hour, but today's meeting lasted roughly 4 hours. That suggests that they're talking about something particularly important right now. Only we can get into the forbidden room, we could install a listening
で
device.
は、我々はこれで失礼します。
Wait, they were having a meeting in the living room, right? And Naruto was just there. Why don't they plant a listening device in the living room? Saria has already come home from school, so I can't start an elaborate conversation now. I suppose I'll have to rely on Thanatos-san.
ああ、私も途中まで一緒に行こう。今日中に済ませておかなければいけない表の仕事があるからね。
So the boss will be absent tonight. Hopefully that will allow us to search Saria's room.
相変わらず儲かってるようで羨ましい。
Inai and his men leave the mansion with their suitcases presumably filled with goods again.
マスター、サリアが寝ました。
Alright, you may begin investigating. Remember to remain careful, even in the boss's absence.
了解。
My eyes are drawn to my laptop screen. I have a message from the principal. Listen, everyone. The principal sent me the result of her analysis. I won't be able to help you for a while.
わかったわ。何か緊急時以外報告を後回しにするわね。
Thanks. Leave my comms on while I reply to the principal. My apologies for the late response.
もらったパートナーの情報を探ってみたところ、表の顔は判明した。
His real identity? Does that mean that...
奴が関わっている企業すべてを調べたが、不審な点は見つかっていない。
Nothing?
いないへの会社がある H 県に検索範囲を限定したから、ただの代理で裏の顔が探しにくいなど、理由はいくつか考えられる。アプローチ方法を変えて引き続き調べるから、結果はもう少し待ってほしい。
Understood, ma'am.
新田先生の方はどうだい？何か上を動かせそうな情報は見つかったかい？
No, not yet. I hope to find evidence of Nostra possessing a large amount of explosives to present to the higher-ups and convince them how dangerous this group is.
その証拠集め、今日はそのあたりで切り上げた方が賢明よ。カニアの会社が入っているビルの防犯カメラが彼の姿を捉えたから、あと30分ほどで戻ると思うわ。
Got it, thanks. Did you find anything?
今回も空振りね。
I see. Danao-san told me that the boss will be returning soon, so you'd better clear out.
マスター、サリアが目を覚ましました。
As soon as I've given Korra the instruction to retreat, Elle contacts
み
me.
んながいない理由を聞かれたので、部屋に着替えを取りに行ったと伝えておきました。
Okay. Plan. Can you grab a change of clothes from Saria when you leave the room? Yeah, you look Saria-sized, right? Plan sounds perplexed by the sudden additional order.
ちょっと待っててください。もう、こういうのは適当にガッと取ったやつでいいんだって。じゃあ、いや、声には出さなくてもいいんだよ。あ、どうしよう。2つ取っちゃった。
Well, I mean, she did say grab something.
今宵、花さんパンツと猫さんパンツ、どっちがいい？ その聞き方だとまるで私がクマさんパンツ、お子さんパンツを履くみたいに聞こえるんだけど。およいちゃんだったらどっちを履く？そうそう、質問の趣旨がずれたわよ。いや、でも普段の性格的にどちらか決めてあげないと解決しないし。なるほど。待って、一瞬納得しかけたけど、私がどっちのパンツを履きたいか答えることに変わりはないじゃない。
Good lord.
そういうお子様パンツを私が履いてたら変でしょ。そうかな。ギャップがあって可愛いと思うけど。
I agree with Serica there, but they're getting off topic again.
もちろん普段してるパステルがちょっと何でもいいから早く決めて。クマさん、猫さんか。
If you're not sure either, why don't you just have Saria choose them herself?
そうよ、そうしましょう。およいちゃん、全部を持ってく必要は。わあ、もう収納ケースが倒れ。
Hey, don't fool around. There may be nobody on the third floor now, but...
まさき、見つけた。クローゼットの床に隠し通路があったわ。
What? Oh!
どうしよう、師匠。
First, calm down. The boss will be back soon. We'll continue our search another day, so for now, just put everything back the way it was.
かしこま。
We finally found a potential way into the Forbidden Room. We just need to check if the rooms are really connected, and if they are, see if we can find any evidence of Nostra possessing a large amount of explosives. So it is... No way. So they actually are hiding bombs inside the child's room? Is that the case? No way, right? The time has finally come. Passage seems to lead straight toward the Forbidden Room. This is the correct route. There should be a way into that room. You see any panels on the wall that look like they could be removed?
少し待ってて、調べてみるわ。
They waited a whole week to enter that passageway?
あった。ここの板材が外せるわ。
Well, I guess you really can't rush this kind of work.
中に侵入したわ。
Great. Use your phone to take some photos and video of the explosives made.
少し待ってて、探してみるわ。
Find them? They're not stored in that room?
目につくところには置いていないわね。
What does that mean? In addition to the heavy security of the room itself, they went even further and also hid the goods?
それらしいスペースを探ってみるわ。
It's okay, I can check the positions of the transmitters. I used my laptop to check the signal emitted from the transmitters that planted in the bombs. I don't find them where I was expecting them. The signal from the transmitters seemed to be coming from outside the mansion.
それって。
Yeah, someone must have taken them outside recently.
けど誰が？ボスを除けば仕事以外で外に出た人はいないわよ。
In those times, I didn't see anyone loading explosives into the van.
そうなると運び出せたのはボスしかいないけど、一人で運び出せる量じゃないわよ。
It's Saria! She's the one moving all the bombs! Right, I saw him go out when I was in the living room, but he didn't have any luggage. Luggage? I'm reminded of the time I met the boss's business partners after one of their meetings. That luggage looks pretty heavy. Oh, that's for the goodies we're giving them. Were those guests carrying explosives inside of those large suitcases?
どういうこと？爆弾は外で保管しているの？
I was just talking to myself, but Koi seems to have gotten my gist. I wonder. It's definitely a possibility, but there shouldn't be any issue with storing them inside the mansion. Not when one of the employees is an expert in handling explosives. So why did the boss have them carried out, even though doing so is risky as well? And why did he tell me that the suitcases contained goodies instead of telling the truth when I asked? Is it confidential information that is only available to executives? Or does he suspect us of being spies? Koyoi's voice pulls me out of my spiral of negative thought. I'd like to have some more information. Is there anything else worth noting inside that room?
机と椅子ぐらいしかないから何もないと思う。
Well then. Can you get into the boss's room through the hidden passageway?
確認してみるわ。
Only relevant information we found on the second floor were those floor plans. They don't seem to be directly related to any terrorist plans, but maybe there's something more relevant on the third floor.
まさき、ボスの部屋に入れそう。
Great. Try to find information that could point to any terrorist plans.
わかったわ。
If I had to keep any confidential information in here, where would I put it?
まずはデスクを調べてみるわ。
There doesn't seem to be anything worth noting on the top of the desk. I'll make sure there aren't any traps or alarms installed before opening any of the drawers. It seems to be safe.
まさき、ノートパソコンがあったわ。前と同じようにデータをそっちに送るわね。
Please do. Wait. Please do. I insert the USB stick and check if the activity light is blinking before moving on to the next drawer. The second drawer contains some
ま
documents.
さきたちがまとめた対抗組織に関する資料か。ここは外れみたいね。
Next, I try to open the third drawer.
鍵がかかってる。
I pick the lock, like I've done a few times before. It easily slides open. Inside I find... something very familiar. There are several other accessories that you normally wouldn't expect to find in a man's room. What's wrong, Koyoi? Masaki's voice brings me to my senses. He's worried that Nostra is plotting a terror attack. He already has enough on his mind. I shouldn't give him any new reasons to worry. Koyoi, are you okay?
ええ、問題ないわ。デスクにテロにつながるものは何もなかったわ。次は書棚を調べてみるわね。
What did you find? What did you find? Okay, the data transfer seems to be complete. You can take back the USB stick now.
了解。
Phew. Inwardly, I let out a small sigh, trying my best to calm down. The first priority right now is finding anything that could be related to possible terrorist attacks. I have to forget about any personal matters for now. I remind myself of my goal as I start to go through the bookshelf.
要所ばっかりね。
Grab one of the books and flip through it, but it's written entirely in a language I don't know. Just check if there's anything hidden inside the books. That should be enough. I'll ask the Naro-san to analyze the contents later, so can you take a photo of the back covers and send it to me?
わかったわ。
In the end, I don't find anything hidden in the books, nor do we come up with any relevant intel. The most notable thing we found is probably the calendar that was on the laptop. It seems to have someone's personal schedule on it. We can connect this information to the floor plans we found on the second floor. We might be able to figure out what Nostra's aim is. There it is. I asked the principal for a data analysis. It seems like she's done.
もらったデータを一通り調べた結果が出た。
Did you find anything?
まず、送ってもらった書籍は何の変哲もない要所で、テロの思想につながるものはなかった。そして本命のパソコンから見つかったタイムスケジュールだが、対テロ法案をまとめている谷川大臣のものと分かった。
Oh! And the floor plans.
大臣が訪れる場所のものだ。
This clarifies what Nostra's aim is. With this much information, the higher ups should allow us to start moving, right?
いや、それがそう簡単な話じゃなくなってきた。
Yeah, I'm guessing they still need like concrete evidence of like the actual bombs they plan to use. Did something happen?
対テロ法案は今の日本にとって急務だ。 されるわけにはいかない。
But isn't sword like... Well, I mean, you could just like... There has to be some way they can like operate without causing any distraction, right? Without causing any commotion, right? Isn't that sword's ability? Isn't that sword's one of sword's specialties? Get shit done without anybody thinking twice?
そのため、まとめ役である大臣のスケジュールには様々な偽装が施されている。
I mean, y'all have ninjas for a reason. Wait a minute. Minister's public schedule contains false information, yet Nostra possesses his actual schedule. I would suggest... Does that mean that there is a traitor among the people who know his actual schedule?
考えたくはないが、その可能性が高い。
How widely was the true information circulated?
会合を行う予定だった谷川大臣を含む政治家3名、それぞれの護衛を担当する SP。
So, sounds like to me that Minister Tanigawa has a mole working for Nostra in his hands, or Hideo,
そして、
or
万
both.
が一の時に対応するソードの5チームと SARS の上層部だ。
Oh.
谷川大臣にはスケジュールを変更してもらう。新田先生の方は内通者とつながりがありそうな人物を洗い出してくれ。こちらでも調べてみる。
Yes, ma'am. We've been undercover at Nostra for quite some time now, but haven't come across any information like that. Now what should we do? Well, maybe there's a mole among sword. No, not sword, sirs. If there's a mole among sword, that would be even crazier. Holy moly. But I don't think that's likely. It's the day after we found out what Nostra's goal really is. Do you have the listening devices I gave you earlier?
はい。
I would have preferred to use more proper devices, but it'd be difficult to have them sent to us without arousing suspicions. So I took apart some of the intercom style ones we use for our investigations and fabricated makeshift listening devices from the parts. Find one of these in each room.
了解です。
You don't have enough to set them up in all the spare rooms, but this should cover the most important places. This solves one of my concerns, but I have another. L, I noticed that Koya was acting different from usual this morning. Do you know anything? Koya seemed rather absent-minded when I saw her earlier. She was making mistakes that she normally wouldn't make. When I asked her if anything was wrong, she kept insisting that there wasn't. I hope that perhaps the girls had talked about it among themselves, but...
いえ、特には。
It has to be about what she saw in that office. The boss's room, I believe. Excuse me. I see. I hope it isn't anything serious, like the time Elle got injured. But if Koya herself doesn't want to talk about it, there's nothing I can do. I hope that she'll be able to sort it out by herself. I have to focus on my work, figuring out what Nostra is planning. Even a week later, there still hasn't been any developments. Still haven't been any developments. What is going on? According to the original schedule, the ministers would have had their meeting to discuss the anti-terrorism bill in Central Port Island at 2 p.m. today. It's just the schedule should have fallen into the hands of somebody at Nostra by now, but I haven't picked up on anything that would suggest that. Did they overlook it? Even though their information's been accurate until now? Or did they realize that there's an internal investigation going on and cut off all contact with the traitor?
マスター、今いいですか？
Is that you, Elle? What's wrong?
全員に話があるからボスが集まってほしいそうです。
What? The boss only summons us all at the same time when we're going on a raid. But there's something quieting about it this time. When I head downstairs, everybody else is already there. My apologies for making you wait.
いや、構わないよ。座ってくれ。
Yes, sir.
これから大きな仕事をしにポートアイランド中央都市部へ行く。
それってどんな仕事なんですか？
今までと違ってターゲットは大物だよ。
大物。その言葉だけでやる気がみなぎるぜ。
それで誰なんです、ターゲット？
谷川大臣だ。
Shit! Oh! That means the traitor hasn't passed on the new schedule. This might be a chance to round up all of Nostra and their network. If it goes well, we'll be able to identify the traitor as well.
今回は私の方からおもちゃをあげよう。
The boss hands a small remote control to each of the members. Is this...
大臣が滞在する各所に爆弾が仕掛けてある。
Oh, so they already planted the bombs. Is that why they couldn't find it? Is that why Sword couldn't find it? Because they've already been planted?
これで吹き飛ばすもよし、やりやすい場所に誘導するもよし、好きに使ってくれ。
The fact that there has been no report from the principal suggests that the bombs I rigged with transmitters weren't used for this. Maybe these bombs were prepared and planted quite some time ago then.
さあ、楽しい仕事の始まりだ。
Oh, shit. It seems like we're finally getting to the real shit now. All the Nostra members pile into a large van, and we head for Port Island. On the way, I send the principal a quick message while I'm pretending to look up the routes that the minister will take. Nostra is headed toward Central Port Island now. This is our chance to round them all up.
できる限り到着時間を遅らせてもらいたい。
We weren't given any time to prepare, so we're already on the way. It would be impossible to delay them at this point. I think they'll move in accordance with the minister's original schedule, so please hurry.
待ってくれ。先に大臣を避難させる。
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. Wasn't the minister's schedule changed?
ああ、関係者にはそう伝えてある。全員に偽のスケジュールを伝えて、内通者をあぶり出す予定だった。
So you think the traitor is among the minister's security escorts?
いや、それはない。今日はオフということにして SC は休ませ、代わりに白が確定しているソードを護衛につかせている。
What does that mean? If the traitor isn't someone from the minister's circle, it couldn't possibly be the minister himself or any of the other ministers he's meeting with, could it?
それもないだろうね。彼らに黒い噂はないし、政治的なパフォーマンスをするようなタイプでもない。内通者のことは後回しだ。今は大臣を避難させるのが優先だ。
Bro, Bro. The mystery, the amount of questions I have right now is just ramping up and up. There's no doubt about it. Something fishy is going on here. And I am too dumb to figure it out. Only 10 minutes until we arrive on Port Island. That's not enough time to secure a safe place for the minister to take refuge until danger has passed. I need to buy us some time. I need to buy us some more time. By any means. I racked my brains looking for a solution, but I failed to come up with a good plan before we arrive on Port Island.
会合まであと30分か。もう会合場所のホテルにいる頃かな。
うっし誰が最初にやれるか勝負だな。人に先越されそうになったからって爆弾を使って邪魔をしようとするなよ。
お前なんかに負けるかよ。んじゃ準備はいいか。よーい。
なんだ今の爆発は。誰か間違ってスイッチ押してないだろうな。なことするかよ。
まあ、ノリが悪いな。人がせっかく合法をいいタイミングで鳴らしてあげたのに。
Dreary voice of a bored teenage girl rings out from behind us.
お おっさんには若者のノリはわかんないか。
What is she doing here? It's L's younger sister, R.
これはどういうことかな ?R。
The boss knows R? Well, that makes sense, right? I mean, they're connected to Hades. They're suspected of having connections to Hades, right? Does that mean that at least one of his business partners is with Hades, rather than any of their sub-organizations?
はあ、安心していいよ。爆破したのは大橋と海底トンネルだから。
おい、これって本島とつながるルートじゃねえか。
そう。あんたらはポートアイランドに閉じ込められたってわけ。
協力関係にある我々にすることじゃないと思うが。
そうだね。けど、その話が嘘だとしたら。
何？
あんたらとしたパートナー協定の話は全部嘘っぱちだってこと。
Oh.
一緒に日本を滅ぼして我々が活躍できる世界を作ろうなんて話。普通信じる？あんたらは私たちが目的を果たすための目くらまし。ただの捨て駒だよ。まあ、そいつら騒動に大臣の暗殺の罪を着せて世論を政府の敵に回そうって話は面白かったけどね。
Oh, shit. Huh? They know who we really are. We have bigger problems to deal with right now. If you're talking about all this in front of us, does that mean you're still plotting those 7 recursions?
今度はちゃんとテロを止められるといいね。正義の味方さん。
おい、クソガキ。俺らのことコケにして、ただで済むと思ってんのか。
I think she can, because she has the skills to wipe out every single one of you.
あ？クソじじい。捨て駒が誰に偉そうな口を聞いてんのよ。
てめえだよ。殺されたいの。
いや、どうせなら死んだ方がマシと思える恥ずかしめを与えようじゃないか。
As much as I don't care about these mafia dudes, as much as I don't like R, yeah, that's not a good idea. R is gonna wipe the floor with y'all.
へえ、例えば？
I will be very surprised if they even manage to lay a finger on her. If they even manage to make her flinch.
君らより大きいテロを起こし、ヘイリオを雑魚扱いさせるとかね。
What?
いいですね、それ。
ふん。その夢、叶うといいね、捨て駒ちゃん。
R scoffs at us before running off. We have to catch her somehow. We need the information she has about the 7 recursions.
さて、新たな目標ができたわけだが。
Nostra's wrath is now directed towards
そ
us.
れとも共通の敵であるヘイリオを潰すために協力するかい？
Do you really think we'll cooperate with someone who's plotting a terrorist attack? After my steadfast response, the tension in the air rises even further. Everyone has their hands on their holsters, ready to draw their gun.
師匠、僕たちが足止めするから、Rを追って。
That would put you at a that would put you at a numerical disadvantage.
でも、セブンリカーションは止めないと。
マスター、早くしないと R を追えなくなってしまいます。
I wouldn't say that, but yeah, catch her. All right. I'll trust Serica and Fan to take care of things here. L, Koyoi, come with me. We're going after R.
了解です。
Koyoi's gaze is fixed on the Nostra members. She's not moving. Koyoi!
わかったわ。
行かせるかよ。
Oh, the time has finally come. The time has finally come for Sword to face off against Nostra. The sound of gunfire rings out from behind, followed by the thud of a bullet hitting Serica's shield. But I don't look back. I believe that Serica and Fan can handle this. We have to keep going. We run through the town, with Elle leading us since she can sense where R is. Elle and Koi, you go on ahead. I have to report to the
わ
principal.
かったわ。
I take out my phone to hurriedly contact Principal Sengoku.
はい。
Ma'am, urgent report! I briefly summarized that the bridge and tunnel to the island were cut off, that Nostra was only being used by Hideo, and that Hideo is preparing to carry out their 7 recursions. The explosions at the bridge and the gunfight Serica and the others are involved in could cause panic among the citizens. Is there a way to evacuate them somehow?
偽の情報を流して避難させよう。巡回中の警官にもサポートを頼んでおく。パニックの可能性を減らすために区画分けして避難させるのがベターね。
Damn. Sword weaponizing fake news. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the first time a government organization does that. Please do. I'll continue.
待ってくれ。その前に聞いてもらいたい情報がある。
Oh, shit. I can sense the distance between R and me growing smaller until I can finally see her. Until finally I can see her.
居場所が分かってるんだし、わざわざ呼ばないで銃をぶっ放せばいいのに。ソーダの間ではそういう握手が流行ってんの？
R doesn't appear to be alarmed at all. Leaving my gun in my holster, I lower my stance so that I'll be able to close the distance between us whenever I need to.
ああ、そういうこと。街中がパニックになるから銃を撃てないんだ。正義の味方様は大変だね。その足かせ、私が外してあげるよ。
R pulls her gun out of her holster with a mischievous grin. She takes aim at me and...
今です。
Oh! Koyoi, who had concealed herself in a side alley, lunges at R, grabs her arm, and twists it.
捕らえたわよ。
離せ。
Oh! See, oh, Serica kind of did the same thing, but R managed to break free from Serica. So does this mean Koyoi is stronger than Serica? R begins to struggle. Or maybe the position of her arm is different. Koyoi doesn't budge. She hits R in the back of the knees, forcing her to the ground.
ある。ヘイディオがしようとしているセブンリカーションについて教えて。
It's not gonna be that easy.
教えるわけないでしょ。
I prefer not to be too rough with her, but I have no time to spare.
絶対に話してもらう。
Well, what you gonna do? How you gonna get that information out of her, L? I'll briefly check my surroundings. It would be best to do this where nobody would see.
今宵、避けてください。
Oh! A bullet cuts through the air in the spot where Koyoi stood until a second ago.
ちゃんと当てなさいよ。
申し訳ありません。
A group of men appear behind R. It's an ambush. That explains why it was so easy to catch up with her. I'm angry at myself for not considering the scenario.
別にいいんだけどね。別のおもちゃが使えるし。
R reaches into her pocket and takes out something like a small remote control. It looks the same as the ones we were given back at Nostra's HQ earlier today. Koya immediately runs toward Ella in an attempt to stop her, but it's too late. R has pressed the button. I look around, but I don't see any flames or smoke anywhere. What did she do? When I look forward again, I notice that one of the men is aiming at us. The bullet grazed my skirt.
じゃ、あとはよろしくね。
はい。
待って。
行かせない。
The men stand between R and us, blocking our path.
通してもらいます。
Oh yeah, you're our enemy. We'll just get out of the way for you simply because you said please. What do you think was gonna happen, L? Are you okay? When Master catches up with us, I quickly explain the situation.
すみません。R を逃がしてしまいました。
Oh, we got a typo here. It took us too much time to defeat the enemies. By the time we were done, I couldn't sense R nearby anymore. It's not your fault. There were too many of them. Besides, At least we've gotten a faint. At least we got a faint idea of what Hadeo's aim is now.
何か情報があるの？
They've occupied the airport. Even though we reassured Master that we could handle this, Flan and I find ourselves being driven into a corner.
おいおい、最初の威勢はどうした？
Damn. So they couldn't defeat these guys after all, huh? Or at least they're having a hard time. I mean, they have been training for like, what, how long? Months? I guess it is kind of no surprise that they would make Serica and Flan struggle. Flan fires another shot, but it's dodged all too easily.
何発撃っても無駄だって。どれだけ一緒に銃をぶっ放したと思ってるんだ。狙いが脇にずれるくせはお見通しだっての。
With no way to increase the distance between us, we are only getting pushed back further.
出るか今宵のどっちかを残せば、もう少し前線できたものを。
Ouch.
自分で残るよう言ってたけど、実際は足手まといだから捨てられたのかもな。
師匠はそんな人じゃない。
よそ見したらダメだろ。
Flan doubles over in pain. I step in front of her, aim my gun at the men to discourage them from shooting again. Our uniforms may be bulletproof, but that kind of impact is enough to keep your body aching for days.
まさきたちも始末するんだから、そろそろ遊びも終わりにしろよ。じゃあな。
Men point their muzzles at us from all directions. There's no way to dodge or run. Oh! I thought I was shot until I see blood spraying in the air before me.
大丈夫？セリカ、フラン。
Oh, Koyoi!
およいちゃんなんで
マサキの指示で戻ってきたの。空港が占拠されてるから今すぐ戦力が必要なのよ。
今すぐって俺らをすぐに片付けられるような口ぶりだな。せいぜい楽しませてくれよ。くそ。
Mm.
全員倒せたね。
Oh, we got this track playing. I remember hearing this in Phantom Trigger. It's called Risky Thoughts.
油断大敵。ちゃんと拘束しないと。
What's going on, Nostra? Is that entertaining enough for you?
確かに。
If we can take out the zip ties that we bought for this purpose. We don't have an infinite amount of them, so it should be enough to just tie up their hands.
待って、
どうかした？
ボスはどこ？
Now that Koi-chan mentions it, I have a look around.
どこにもいない。
Man, Serica still hasn't come up with a cute nickname for Koi, huh? After all this time. El gets Elulun, but Koyoi is just Koyoi.
間抜けすぎて笑えるぜ。
どこに行ったか教えて。
誰が言うかよ。それに俺が間抜けって言ったのはボスがいないことに気づくのが遅かったからだけじゃないぞ。
どういう？
爪が甘いんだよ。
Alright, I can see the airport now. I'll ask Thenao-san to help us approach it without the enemy seeing us. Ah! What was that tremor?
R が起爆スイッチを押した時と同じです。
Did she blow something else up? I don't see smoke anywhere.
師匠、ごめんなさい。僕たち失敗しちゃった。
What happened?
拘束する前に起爆スイッチを押されたの。
That means there was an explosion after all. But where?
もう一つお知らせ。ノストラのボスが行方不明。
What? It's hard to imagine that he would try to take revenge on Hideo without his men. Did he simply run away? But he knows that the routes off the island were destroyed. If there's anyone he would go after, it could be either us, sword members, or someone should go and check on Minister.
も
う向かってるわ。
Huh? What was that sound? I take a wary glance around, fully expecting to find more of Hidio's pawns. I don't see anyone suspicious.
マスター、あれを見てください。
Look in the direction that L is pointing, where I see several large fissures forming in the ground. The ground is cracking?
ポートアイランドの基盤に爆弾を仕掛けられてたのかもしれないわ。
What?
下手したらポートアイランドを沈められるわよ。
What? L, go to the airport as quickly as you can and try to gather all the information that could help us deal with this.
了解です。
If the worst case scenario comes to pass, we'll need to think about evacuating civilians too. But the bridge and tunnel have been destroyed, and the airport is being occupied by Hideo. The only evacuation route that remains is via boat. Principal Sengoku, can you please contact the port authority immediately?
可能だが、何をするつもりだい？
I want them to let us use the container ships moored at the port.
なるほど。わかった。すぐに手を回そう。避難誘導は私の方からさっきと同じように複数回に分けてやっておくわ。
Yeah, because... Okay, actually, no, I'll talk later. Thanks. That solves one of our issues. Next up is... How about the minister?
救助チームの到着はまだしばらくかかる。大橋とトンネルを破壊されたことで渋滞が発生していて、到着予想時刻は不明。
So we can't count on any backup. In that case... Koi, once you've confirmed Minister Tanigawa's safety, head to the airport with L.
わかったわ。
Plan, you meet up with me first. We'll activate our pet's connection before you join them.
かしこま。師匠、僕は行かなくてもいいの？
I want you to stay there and watch Nostra, just in case they try anything. They might trick some civilians into undoing their zip ties.
わかった。
Yeah, I was about to say, oh man, I don't know if I should stop right now. I mean, we're going on for an hour and 30 minutes, but like, man, I mean, shit's just getting down right now. Shit is just going down. Nah, you know what? I think we'll stop.
セーブします。
I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. But yeah, oh man. Shit's really going down. Yeah, we finally... So we're no longer undercover. The sword members are no longer undercover. We are getting to nitty-gritty of it all. They finally are up against Nostra. They're not, you know, having dinner or partying with them or taking care of their kid anymore. No. Things are quite different. So, yeah. Now that Hideo is already and Nostra are making their moves, it's gonna be, I'm wondering where it's gonna go from here. How is this all gonna end? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys next time.